Okay, I hope you can, and I hope you are actually seeing me in my screen. So hello everybody. Oder in Deutsch, hallo, sehr schön in euch zu sehen. Okay, so hello, welcome to this talk about building microservices with Helidon and Kotlin. So my name is Dmitry Alexandrov. I'm part of the Helidon team working at Oracle. So is my contact information. So I'm mostly on Twitter. So whenever you have some questions or whenever you want just to talk, to chat about everything, just tweet me at this Twitter handle. Okay, so today we are going to talking about actually how to write a microservices with Kotlin and Helidon together. For those of you who don't know, actually, this picture is actually taken from Kotlin. This is the island Kotlin, which is not far away from St. Petersburg. I took it earlier this year. So if you don't know, Kotlin is not just a ketchup as in some countries, it's also an island, which is situated in the Baltic Sea, and you can actually go there and visit it, and it's named, there's a language named after it. So this picture is taken there. And actually, before actually going there, we should talk about Helidon itself. So as I told you, so we're writing microservices with Helidon and Kotlin. So that was actually a session earlier this year about Helidon itself as an introduction. There will be a link later on. But for those who don't know, who not visited this session, I will do a small actual intro about what Helidon is. So, so whenever you want to write a microservice, so you know everybody now in the world wants to write microservices, but whenever you want to do it in Java, actually, so I think the choice for Helidon is obvious. So what is it? So we call it as a set of libraries for writing microservices. So it's not exactly a framework. It's more than a framework. It's really libraries for doing it, and all the information you can find on our official site, helidon.io. If you don't know what Helidon means, so this is the answer. So actually, it means a swallow in Greek language, and I believe this is a wonderful choice of a name because you know whenever you see them flying, like in all those flocks and how they cooperate, this is really cool and. I mean, it's a really small, maneuverable, fast, and that's why, you know, the name is chosen really good. The greatest part of it, actually, that it is open sourced under Apache 2.0 license. So this is basically second or third, I guess, or even not first, but second project in Oracle, which is made under this license. That means that it is completely open source. All the issues are there. Nothing is hidden. Just you can see the code, contribute the code. We accept PRs, and that's why we are building now a very big community around it. Yes, as I said, it's small font to use because once again, it's built on top of Netty. So Netty is really small and fast, and it's asynchronous, and so are we. So I'll talk about this a little bit later. And of course, all the microservices are not like, you know, living somewhere on your machines. They are living in the clouds, and that's why Helidon and us actually, we are very much cloud native ready, as I say. So out of the box, you get everything, not just to rest and to serve your data. Health checks, metrics, tracing, everything is there out of the box, and it's really fast. And working, once again, without any configuration, I would say. So of course you can configure it, but the main idea is this, you just run it and you have it. So and most, well, one of the interesting parts, of course, we are very strong in GraalVM native image support. That means that so everything we do is with, I would say, the idea of GraalVM native image awareness, I would say. So that means that whenever we do something, we really care it to be GraalVM native image compatible. So that's why I believe 99% of our code, so our is 100%, maybe some dependencies that we're using are GraalVM native image friendly. That means whenever I want to make it really small and fast, GraalVM is for you. And we are Java 11 plus world, so that means that you are not able to do this on Java 8, and you should not be able to do this because Java 17 has just arrived. And of course, the best option for you would be just to use, because once again, why 11 plus? Because we are modular, and that means that we have modules in our code, and we really use them and utilize them. The code itself is done like this. And as a result, 11 plus world only. So just a brief introduction about actually why, what is the architecture and why we care about it. So once again, it's built on top of Netty. Then, as I said, we are purely reactive. That means that everything is reactive in Helidon. We have this Helidon reactive, or Helidon SE actually layer, which is like wrapping everything around Netty and provides you the services for tracing, metrics, checks, etc. And because, like, we tend to be not a closed ecosystem, but a open ecosystem. That means that we like standards and we like portability itself. We made a layer around it. It's called Helidon MP, which actually supports MicroProfile. Yes, let's actually have a look. So you know that MicroProfile is a community specification. It's not an implementation, it's a specification. Writing microservices currently under Eclipse Foundation with a lot of participants. I saw them by the sponsors, by the way, here. So like Piara, Tommy Tribe, Microsoft, and all of them, Oracle, of course. We all sit together and create a portable specification. That means the code that you run once can be run around many environments and many implementations of this MicroProfile. So we are one of them. And it's really good because if you have something written in like with MicroProfile, you can easily migrate to Helidon. Yes, so it will be seamless because we are standard and we care about being standard here. So you see, there are currently like 13, I guess, main specifications, which are actually the core of MicroProfile. So you see they all evolve in their different speed. That means that we do support all of them. And currently it's version 4.1. As you see, just a few of them change with 4.0. And of course, there's actually now some betas for 5.0 as well. But this is where we are. So there are specifications designed specially for tracing, especially for fault tolerance, because microservices are a pure, I would say, pure distributed thing in our world, so they can fail absolutely independently and unpredictably. So that's why we have everything there for fault tolerance, for security, like job propagation, metrics, health checks, everything is there. So, and we do support it. As I say, so even more than that, actually, we do support all the specification, but we also have some stuff out of the box for you from Jakarta EE. So we have CDI, we have persistence, transaction in WebSocket, all that stuff, and even more because there's a big demand for cores in gRPC. We also do provide it out of the box for you. Once again, how can you actually start working with Helidon? Once again, one of the good stuff here is the MicroProfile page. So you just choose, and it will generate you a right POM file. So you can see the, how we say, can you hear me now? I think I have lost my video. Oh, looks like I'm back. Okay, sorry for that. Maybe some connection issues. So as I said, once again, you can use MicroProfile starter page to make it work, but you can use also different stuff like we are caring a lot for our customers. So that's why we have created a special CLI tool will actually provide you a good option to more advanced way to create your projects. Okay, nice. But as I told you, so MicroProfile way, we have this way of doing things. For Helidon SE, what is it actually, or Helidon Reactive APIs? So if you remember this high-level architecture that there is, the main idea for us was actually to make it fully reactive. But only reactive is good, but we did not want to hide it actually from our customers. So that's why actually the API itself was so beautiful and so nice that we said, okay, we'll create a special implementation for the users to use, which is called Helidon SE. It actually removes all of this MicroProfile wrapping stuff, and it provides you a really reactive, non-blocking micro framework, which actually without all of this magic there is totally fast. There's no magic there, so there's no additional cycles lost for creating this thing, and that's why it really has tiny footprint. It has functional styles APIs, which is awesome, and as I say, no magic, transparent, and that's it. So if we take a look at the code itself, so as you see, the MicroProfile code is like typical for I would say Jakarta EE style. That means we have annotations, we annotate in works. For Helidon SE, it's different because once again, it's pure Java. That means that you do everything with no annotations. I think we have only override annotations used actually by the code. So you get routing, for example, here how we create a web server. So just create a routing, and you just say web server create, and it will be blazingly fast. So as I say, core components are technically the same. So that means they do provide absolutely the same functionality, or even more, because as you say, we are really reactive here. That means that we also can communicate with database in a reactive way, so that we have DB client, I'll tell a bit later, and for web client. So otherwise, everything is absolutely the same. So just to mention, so Helidon DB Client, as I say, microservices, they are not just separated from the world, they still persist data, and they still provide this way to communicate, not to communicate, to save your data, to persist your data to database. But JDBC is not reactive. It's very blocking thing. It's actually the most blocking thing in the world, as I usually say. And we create a way to you to communicate with the database in a non-reactive way, in a non-blocking way, in a reactive way. So that's why there's a wrapper. So we have a special DB client for us, which is actually running your JDBC driver in a separate executor and provides you a way to do it reactively. So it's already in all of that infrastructure that we have there, tracing, etc., etc. The same is for web client actually. So it's reactive non-blocking. It's designed to run in Helidon API. It has all the observability features, extensible, etc., etc. Same is for messaging and reactive streams. Actually, the coolest part of Helidon is that we do have our own personal implementation of the reactive engine, contributed by David Karnak himself, actually, which is cool, and it is so much faster that we're really faster than many competitors. So once again, it still have the reactive APIs. We have connection to cloud, to Kafka, sorry, to Oracle streaming support, and we also can work with different implementations like RxJava or Reactor. Okay, you will ask yourself, where is Kotlin here? So that was a brief introduction about Helidon itself. If you want to know more about it, there was actually a recorded session together with MicroStream guys with this link, and take a look at it. It's more extensible with some demos there for you to know more about Helidon. What is it? So, okay, Kotlin. So how it actually began. So this is the main question here. So for me, it actually began with just a second. I think I still have issues with my camera. Let me fix it. Okay, 1 second. This is typical for online conferences. I think yes. Now I'm already visible again. So I think I have a question. If I can share the link, I will share the link. Of course, I will write it in the chat a little bit afterwards. So how about Kotlin? So for me, it actually began with just pressing this wonderful combination of keys on my Mac, and the funny thing, and just adding this dependency like Kotlin Maven plugin, and the funny thing that it worked. So that means I just converted the code itself and make it work. So let us see actually how it happened in Helidon MP. So let us do it. So for here, I have prepared a small project, and we will do this together with you. So this is a typical greeting resource and greeting provider. It is available in our quick start. So this is a very typical service, microservice. It has all necessary attributes like path to get a greeting, inject to inject some resources where you're using, produces to generate data type, and getter put to change something. We even have some open API annotations to actually generate documentation for that. So let us actually do it in a very, very direct way. So as we are just converting the code with IDEA, so it can convert the code to us. So here now we have the Kotlin code. So, and we have to do the same with the greeting resource, just to convert it. It will be very fast, but there will be probably issues with that. So what does that mean? Actually, that means that if you convert the code, yes, it will work, but we have to do some small changes here. So because the class itself is so the classes that are managed by CDI, they all have to be open. So that means that practically for everything, we have to put open keyword, or we have to use all open plugin. But I believe we can do this very fast here together with you. So, oops, just sorry. There's a screen demonstration here. I'll just remove it. So the same we do with the resource itself. So to make it really work, we have to make it open. So there's a construction. We have to make it open. All the functions that are actually providing some resources to us, they have to be open. So you see all these companion objects. The IDE has actually done a lot for us to help us. So we only don't need these things. There's some strange annotation happened here. And as you see, we are technically almost ready. So if we go here and compile the project itself, so the compilation, actually the only thing we also have to add is this Kotlin Maven plugin. So where I'm playing, as you see some code. Actually, this code, I will give you the link later, is a big set of Helidon examples written in Kotlin language. So I'm playing over this very vast project, and later we share the link so we can play with it as well. So if we go here, we just have to do Maven package, I guess. And it will compile everything to us. It may be a little bit slower because of that the Zoom is taking too much resources, because usually Zoom takes most of the CPUs that we have. But if we do this, it should work really easy. At least it worked before this presentation. But unfortunately, because of the Zoom, it usually runs a little bit slower. And yes, by the way, there are tests here. Yes. Even, you see, what is the fun stuff? I took the regular code in Java, I converted it, just put in some open stuff, and even the tests that are there, they're running. So that means that if we do some java minus jar and target, this is my alias for that, and run it, this is now written in Kotlin. Yes, and you see, even though it's CDI there is like managed environment CDI, we were able to get the results really easy. Okay, we just need the, for example, the greet message, and we say hello world, greet JCON. And hello JCON. As you see, once again, even written in Kotlin, we still get this health and metrics provided to you, once again, out of the box. So it's in Kotlin, it's using Helidon, and it still got this wonderful options for writing in microservices. So let us actually go back to the presentation for a second. So as you see, what should I have my first impressions when I converted to Kotlin? So a lot less code, really a lot less code, a lot of checks. So if you can see them from the example, a lot of checks for nullability, for everything that just gone, because Kotlin cares about nullability. Yes, and they're really gone. Or actually, you just don't need to check them anymore, and you just have to write your examples with the idea that some of the stuff can be lately initialized as well. So once again, you also have to open your classes when you do it with Helidon. Or you can use all open plugin, but I believe this is a bad option for this. The other thing that Kotlin does not support now is multiple annotations. So as you see, there is like times of day, time of the day annotation, which can be multiple. In some of our examples, they are not possible. So if we go there and to escape this thing, you can still use multiple annotations, but we just follow the idea how these annotations are done in Java. So there's another annotation, which is like, for example, if we use time of the day, there's usually a wrapper annotation, times of the day. So if we want to use multiple annotations, we just have to wrap them this way. And as you see, it will work. So this is the only hack you actually have to do to run it with Kotlin. And technically, this is almost it for Helidon MP. Really, all the nullabilities are gone. You just have to open classes and care for multiple annotations. But Helidon SE is more interesting, I would say. So Helidon SE, or this reactive APIs, here we actually have pure Java. And to have this pure Java, we have created more things to use. So we have created not just converting to Kotlin, which is straightforward, we also have created some goodies for you. And actually, this is, I would say, Kotlin support package, which we're going to explore now. So as you see, as we're using pure Java, we use a lot of builder pattern in our code, and this is a pure candidate for writing our old DSLs for that. That means whenever you want to make to use web server, we created with a builder our web servers. Once again, if you need more information about Helidon, please watch that video that I was short earlier I'll post the link. I see there's a link in the request for link in the chat. I will post it, and you may take a look. So then we create a web server with just a builder, and here we have created a DSL for you when you could just write web server and write it in a Kotlin way. I would say more like idiomatic Kotlin way. So for web server, you just write web server, curly breaks, and that's it. For routing, it's absolutely the same. So you just create routing with curly braces, and then just register all the routes that you do have. And of course, we also have created extensions. That means because why do we use extensions? So in our language, in our language, like Java language, as is not a keyword. That means we can use it in our code as much because, and since we did not thought that it will be so easy to move to Kotlin at some point, so we used as a lot. But for these extensions that we have created an extension function too, which is not just easy to convert one function to another. It's also like using generics. So I will show it a little bit later. So that means that you have a package which converts DSLs and extension functions to help you work with Helidon. Actually, let us have a look once again. So it was so easy to convert it in Helidon MP project and run it. Let us have a look. How can we do this with Kotlin SE? So as you see, it's a pure Java. So that means that we have just a main method, just a regular main class with main method, where we actually create a server, web server builder. Then we create some routing. That means that for every route we have create our own service, and we write it here. And the service itself is also like a regular Helidon service, which implements only the service function with just one update method. And then for actually each method, so we do get the request, process it, and generate response for that. So there is it's fully asynchronous way of doing things, and it's a pure Java. So let us actually do the same exercise with just converting the code to the Kotlin. So the main function is already created, and let us do the same with the greeting service. By the way, you see this little frank. So this is the sign of the frank, which is our mascot for Helidon. You see EDE. IDE has a great support for that, so we can run it there, which is cool. So now, as you see, the code is converted to Kotlin. But let us, you see some strange stuff here, like object, like main JVM static. It's not an idiomatic way of doing it. I'm not much like Kotlin coder, but I have consulted the guys from JetBrains, and they told me what is the right way to do things, and let us actually do this together with you. So as you see, we actually don't need this object main at all, and so the main function has to be JVM static. So we just remove it, and because we don't need class for that, Kotlin will create our own makeKT class to run it. So as you see, now we have to create servers. You see this very strange web server builder, etc., etc. It's not a Kotlin way of doing things. So we will just create a Valve server again and do it in a Kotlin way. So there is a DSL for that. We just have to import it as a function, and we will actually do this thing. So we just create the routing. Create a routing with the config we have. Then we will actually add media support for JSON support, yes. Oh, no, first of all, we actually configured. Wait a minute, so we just do config, and we will use our config function from, usually it's getter, but since we are using Kotlin, so we can just get it actually the server. And the last thing is add media support for JSON-P. So for that, we also have JSON support, which is quite a DSL. That means that you don't have to create anything. So this ugly old way of creating server is not needed anymore. Nice. The very same thing is actually whenever you see a builder, that's DSL for that. That means that, how can we do this? We just create health support, which actually is only taking add liveness function. And yes, we just copy this line to make it more Kotlin way of doing things. And we remove all this builder build stuff. The last but not least is the routing itself. So we're going just to create routing. So of course, that's DSL for that. So I'm doing this. Why I'm doing this? Because I have in my POM already this Kotlin support actually. Yes. So whenever you play with whenever I give you the link to the project, so we will just have Kotlin support, and all of that comes actually directly from there. So what we do, so we register health. That means that we will be able to use our health. We register metrics, so the metrics will be available out of the box here, and we register this greet service. Just paste it to make it faster. And we are probably almost done. I believe the only thing we should do is fix the test itself. Oh, actually, it's get already. Yes, lovely. So as you see, we have converted the code to Kotlin. We have made it more idiomatic. That means that we don't need to create main objects, main files, etc., etc. It's just a pure function. And what is the best part of it is that we actually can just run it from the IDE. Yep, I think just because it's pure Kotlin in this thing means that there are no magic happening there. So it really has to compile this. So you can actually do the same with Maven, Maven package. And look at this. So only in fractions of a second. By the way, it's running on JDK 17. Oh, this is good. So we are carrying for the next versions. That means that out of the box, actually, we can do the same curls. Right. So it's curl greet. Like for example, greet. Oh, wait a second. It should be running. Just give me a minute. Wait. No, it's routing. It should return routing. Let me try. Maybe it's a good idea for me to rebuild it. Look, the demo gods. Sometimes demo gods are just not doing it the correct way. So I'll just do Maven even clean package to make it completely sure. Clean package to completely sure that everything's working okay. No, there's something missing here. Okay. Demagogues. It was working directly, very nice, but something went totally wrong. Sorry for that. dependency. There's a duplicate declare. That's a warning. No, there's no dependency Kotlin. I just have to rebuild it totally from scratch. That's why it actually made it. But as you see in the IDE, it actually adds this thing. So actually 15 minutes before the talk, it generated me absolutely the same result as I was giving there in the talk. So it's just demo gods are not with me today. But just to make it clear and to see how it works. So for example, as I said, there is the Kotlin support project here. And this Kotlin support actually provides several DSLs, as I said, for web server, for web client, for DB client. So when if we go to DB client, we can create our DB client with a DSL. But there is also another thing. So for the idea of doing as, to remove as keyword from our stuff, we do it even not just with just replacing a function just to make it two, for example, but do it with the cool feature of Kotlin itself is using refined generics. That means that whenever you do actually the code here, so what you do, so if there's a row and you want to make it to string, once again, we're using this DB client now, and this two, we actually do it two plus the generic. So in the code in Java, it will be just as string or as something. We did it even better because here you have the two function, which is actually extension function for our DB row, and you actually have this this string, which is delivered to you as a generic. So, and it will work once again out of the box. I just have to rebuild all the project itself to make it completely working. And probably my Maven repo gets corrupted. But once again, demo goes up to date with me, but you see it's actually working like this. And basically, so what is the main idea? So we have this very nice set of extensions, and we have this very nice set of DSLs for you. That means that almost everything you can do with builder patterns, so we already have created these DSLs for you, and you can write it in idiomatic, nice Kotlin way. So, okay, what's actually the idea? So currently, there's really all of the examples are practically all of the examples which are coming with Helidon project itself. There are like hundreds of them. They are all rewritten in Kotlin with this I would say extensions and DSLs. So you just go and play with it, and you see it works out of the box very nicely. And you may actually ask yourself, okay, we got Ktor, we get our Kotlin frameworks. Why would we use Kotlin and Helidon? So first of all, Helidon, as I said, got this wonderful two flavors. That means that you can write pure reactive stuff with a pure Java, which makes it very easy to convert to pure Kotlin, which with this extension makes it really idiomatic Kotlin. And you just run it and it's fast, and it's very, very, the memory footprint is very small and everything is really small. And that's why I have really cool microservices support. Another way of doing is the MicroProfile way of doing it. So that means you get all the goodies from MicroProfile and it's still available to you with using actually Kotlin. You all open plugin, or you just have to care with just opening classes manually, which is actually better because it gives you more control. And of course, as a result, you get a lot less code. Like I just compared the lines in my repo with the same written in Java. I guess there were only 2/3, so it's really small because a lot of nullability checks, everything of that is gone. And since once again we're using a lot of builder pattern, it's very natural for you to write DSLs and use them in Helidon. And even more, you have additional goodies, which is DB client. So you can work with your DB asynchronously with this client. The same is for web clients. You can use asynchronous web client for that. And we are now caring a lot about integrations, actually. So we got a lot of integrations. So Kotlin is a very good language, and it fits very good with Helidon, with some really small extensions and really small DSLs, which are coming to you. So once again, it's still experimental. So we have 2 or 3 projects in production. They are not causing troubles, which is good. But we still care about it, so it means it's subject to change. But I personally enjoy it very much. Since Helidon 2.33 is out, as new features, you can enjoy it out of the box from Kotlin. Actually, you'll learn about it a little bit later today in a separate session, but just to get it there. So we have project limb support, so we already have virtual thread supports. That means that you can write blocking code, actually, which will be very easy, very cheap to you. We do have support only with really one property. You just have to specify, and it will work. Another thing is we have very cool integrations. So, for example, we work a lot with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure because, we are in one company, and that's why our OCI support is really custom and very nice. Neo4j is something that we're using a lot, so our people actually are using a lot. So we have support for that. It's something new that came previously this year. Micrometer support, and not so far from this date is the microstream support. But to know more, actually, you can join my session today, which is later, news and course features in Helidon, when I just give a very good explanation of every of this feature with some demos there. And we do support it out of the box. So that means that if you're like Kotlin, and if you want to write microservices, which are portable, which are, you don't have to reinvent the wheel with health tracing, etc., you just use Helidon, and it will be small and tiny. So we do support Kotlin 1.5.3. We're playing with some RCs 1.6 as far as I know, but it's working. So there was some migration, not migrations, but there's some code changes that we made to support it. I mean, so we care for each version which comes with Kotlin, and all the examples you have, they are working with it. Coroutines. I guess Kotlin fans would ask me, what are the coroutines? I am playing with it still a lot to do because it's a fundamental change. There's some experimental branch I'm playing with it. I don't have enough manpower, so to say, to take care of everything. So whenever you're a fan or know how to do it, just contact me, and it's open source. I'll be really happy about it. And once again, if you want to know more about Helidon itself, so Helidon project on Twitter. If you like reading, go to Medium. If you don't like reading and like watching, go to Helidon channel on YouTube. It's official, so new videos are coming quite often. And if you want to talk to us, just use Slack for that. And I think that I really you liked the idea, and I would like to say thank you very much for this time with me. Once again, to know more about Helidon, you just go to the session here. I will just paste this link to the chat, and then you can rewatch this video and try to play the same stuff with Kotlin. So the examples base is really big. You just, I will publish the slides as well. You just go to this repo, and all the Kotlin code is there. So I hope you enjoyed this talk. Thank you very much. Dankeschön. And this is it. So probably questions. So the link, I have to share the link in the chat. So first, this is the GitHub repo. And another thing is Where was it? The video of the previous presentation about Kotlin, not Kotlin, but Helidon introduction. So let me just find it. Yes, it's on this slide. This introduction was done with the hackathon together with MicroStream. Okay, thank you.